It is not surprising that Italy is so full of masterpieces of art and architecture, and has more UNESCO World Heritage cultural sites than any other nation in the world, given that it was the cradle of the Roman Empire and the Renaissance. But Italy's top tourist destinations are not just its works of art and architecture. The nation is also endowed with magnificent natural beauties, including lakes, mountains, and a striking coastline. You might design an entire itinerary around a particular interest, such as Renaissance art or trekking, but most first-time tourists prefer to sample the best that Italy has to offer across a variety of activities. Plan your schedule using our video of top attractions to ensure that you discover the greatest places to go and things to do. 1. Colosseum. This enormous amphitheater served as a model for sporting venues up until the present day. It was the largest of its kind ever constructed by the Roman Empire and the largest of their constructions to survive. Vespasian constructed it in 72 CE, and his son Titus expanded it by adding a fourth floor. It served as a stage for public spectacles and shows, including mock naval wars. 2 more underground layers were covered by a hardwood floor 83 by 48 meters, with tunnels, rooms, cells, and passages for employees, wild animals, storage, and gladiators. The building is a vivid reminder of the past and Rome's long history today, standing in stark contrast to the new development that surrounds it. 2. The Grand Canal in Venice. Travelers have long enjoyed the custom of taking a gondola ride around Venice's canals. Being an island-based city, Venice has historically relied on its network of canals as its principal thoroughfares. The Grand Canal, which carves a broad S-shaped channel through the city, is the broadest and most well-known of these waterways. The largest and most influential families in the Venetian Republic originally owned the palaces that line its sides. A vaporetta trip down the Grand Canal is the greatest way to view many of the grand palaces, whose fronts face the lake. Make sure to visit some of the more atmospheric smaller canals, which are bordered with historic structures that have remained largely untouched for hundreds of years, during your gondola ride and on-foot tourism tours. 3. Leaning Tower of Pisa. One of Pisa's great attractions, the Leaning Tower of Pisa, is famous around the globe not for the substantial elegance of its construction, but rather for a fault. The tower's construction started in the 1100s, and by the time it reached the third story, the sinking that caused the lean had started. Prior to repair work in the 1990s, it had been expected that it would tumble over by the year 2000 due to its centuries-long leaning. Today, guests can ascend the tower stairs for a stunning vista of the city. The Leaning Tower is situated on the Piazza dei Miracoli, together with the stunning Santa Maria Assunta Romanesque Cathedral and a circular freestanding baptistery. These all contain magnificent examples of medieval stone sculpture. 4. Vatican City. Some of the most priceless works of art and art collections can be found in the Vatican. The magnificent Basilica of St. Peter, which houses the grave of St. Peter and the Pieta, one of Michelangelo's most moving creations, serves as the focal point. St. Peter's Square is where the Pope addresses his followers outside. Michelangelo painted murals on the Sistine Chapel's walls and ceilings, and Raphael and other notable artists created pieces for the Vatican Palace. The Vatican Museums, a collection of private collections, are filled with more artwork, including sacred art, Etruscan artifacts, sculptures, maps, papal chariots, and even vintage cars. 5. CINQUE TERRE. Beautiful CINQUE TERRE is a seaside area with towering cliffs, steep slopes, and a view of the Mediterranean. The 5 charming communities are connected to one another by walking trails, a railroad that emerges at each town after tunneling through the headlands, or a gorgeous tiny road perched high on the slope above. One of the most popular activities is hiking between the villages since it allows visitors to take in the scenery. Even in the face of contemporary tourism, the little towns have managed to retain the atmosphere of old-world fishing villages and provide a sense of seclusion. There are numerous transit choices accessible whether you're traveling from Florence or Milan. 6. The Pantheon, a Roman relic that has been remarkably well maintained, showcases the astounding architectural prowess of the Roman Empire. A single beam of light entered the space from the top of the dome, and the building's precise proportions, which had the height and diameter equal, were meant to represent the firmament and the sun. It was abandoned because the earliest Christian kings disallowed using a pagan temple as a church, and the Pope later dedicated it in 609 CE. The Pantheon contains the graves of Italian kings, Renaissance artist Raphael, and other notable Italians. 7. Amalfi Coast. A magnificent coastline that runs along the Sorrentine Peninsula south of Naples and Sorrento is known as the Amalfi Coast and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Along the precipitous alpine slopes that drop out into the sea, hillside communities are perilously constructed. Positano and Amalfi, which boasts a cathedral with a multicolored dome, are the principal cities along this coastline. You can travel the coast by car or boat to see the stunning, nearly vertical shore from several vantage points. While there are walking pathways all along the coast, the Sentiero degli Dei, or Footpath of the Gods, near the western end from Positano, offers the most spectacular sight for walkers. 8. Pompeii and Mount Vesuvius. The ruins of the city that Mount Vesuvius destroyed in 79 AD are viewed from above as it continues to smoke. Frescoes, mosaics, and sculptures that were encased in the lava as it cooled were among the city's art treasures that were preserved during the same eruption. The remnants of homes, markets, baths, temples, theaters, streets, and even human remains have been uncovered over the course of several centuries of excavations. Visitors can take a tour of the location, stroll through the historic streets marked by chariot tracks, and view the engineering employed by the Romans more than 2,000 years ago. Herculaneum, an archaeological site nearby Pompeii, was also destroyed by an eruption in 79 CE, but preserved due to being covered in lava and ash, which solidified and frozen the town exactly as it was. You may see both locations in one day, but a longer stay gives you time to climb to the very edge of Vesuvius, which is still active. 9. The Trevi Fountain. The Trevi Fountain is a well-known landmark and a must-see on any trip to Rome. It has been immortalized in movies including La Dolce Vita, Roman Holiday, the Lizzie McGuire movie, and Three Coins in a Fountain. It is said that throwing a penny with the right hand over the left shoulder will ensure a return trip. The tradition's beginnings are obscure, however, the fountain was originally connected to an aqueduct constructed in the 1st century BC as a public water source. Pope Urban VIII requested Bernini to redesign the fountain in 1629 because he wanted it to be more enticing. Bernini's concept was abandoned when the Pope passed away, and Niccolò Salvi finished the current rendition of Neptune, horses, and shells in 1751. 10. The Duomo Santa Maria del Fiore, also known as the Church of Santa Maria del Fiore, is a magnificent cathedral that dominates the skyline of Florence. The remarkable dome, which was completed by Filippo Brunelleschi in 1434, is the cathedral's most well-known feature. The cathedral was constructed between the 13th and the 15th centuries. The bell tower of the cathedral is located right next to the cathedral in Piazza del Duomo and is made of the same patterned marble used in Tuscan Romanesque architecture. Giotto created the 82-meter-tall campanile, and you can ascend its 414 steps to a viewing platform with stunning views of the city and the dome.